Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale, episode 720. Tim Kennedy, Joe Rogan. And man, I was just talking all this mess about Tim Kennedy. And then I find this clip and I'm like, that's why I love Tim Kennedy. But also remember that even if you respect someone, even if you think the world of them, question what they say. Question me, question everybody. Believe you me, I look up to Rogan more than most of you look up to your own parents. Fact. And I still question him. I still think, I love certain comedians. I'm still like, did they sign up to that whole thing? You know, it's important to do that. Always. But it's also important to acknowledge when they've gotten something right and the things they do that are right and the things they do that are shining examples. That's exactly what Tim Kennedy does right here. When Joe Rogan asks him, how does he manage with all the things that he goes through? Tim Kennedy says this.
So that two pastors could make it back to their churches in California. You know, they're literally stuck. So, yeah. Crazy.
How do you fucking manage your mind dealing with so many horrific and traumatic experiences over and over and over again, just over a few years?
That's what my dad just asked me. But he asked me like way more pointed. He's like, Are you okay? Are you okay, son?
Yeah.
Like,
I would be asking that too if I was your dad.
Do you remember Mr. Rogers? We're old.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. He was asked a real similar question, and it was during the civil rights protests where blacks are being beaten in the street, you know, and hippies are being condemned as like the next plague and pestilence that society could ever see. And like, what would you do with all of this evil happening around us? And Mr. Rogers says, just look to the helpers. There's always people trying to help. And, you know, I'm thinking about the ground team that I had with me over there. I can't even say their names because they're amazing people, but we had JP, RT, Primo, and the most brilliant from the expeditionary special operations backgrounds, but the most selfless, hardworking. They're giants of humans. Like I look at them just in awe of how capable they are and how selfless they are at the same time. Like these are the most lethal humans on the planet. And they could kill you 1,000 different ways, but they're putting their lives on the line to try and rescue a pastor that can't book a flight. You know, like Israel would do anything to have one of these guys go with them and advise them about how to get into this shit show that is Gaza, into the tunnels that is controlled by Hamas, and what are we going to do with Hezbollah at the northern border? How are we going to stop the Taliban that just got permission to cross through Iraq? What are we going to do with Al-Qaeda that just bribed a whole bunch more people to fly them into every single neighboring country? Like, but instead, they're just trying to rescue people. So to ask your question, when I'm down at the border, I just look to my left and my right and I see a freaking private that's 3 o'clock in the morning. He's sitting there with night vision and he's like, that kid just fell in the water and the motherfucker's off. He's off. He's running down into the darkness to jump in the water to try and save a kid. Like if you cannot find inspiration from that, and if you cannot find something that's going to nurture and feed your soul and inspire you to do something good for the people around you, and look at the guys that I had with me in Israel, like I can't even, the group of people that I had with me in Ukraine, like I'm just astounded by these, and you know a whole bunch of them too, that are just amazing people. I've been so blessed to have, you know, a short but successful fighting career, a successful military career that then went into a period of like successful business. And now I'm in a position where like, man, I really want to do good. And there's all these things that I know or people are really hurting in or they can't do. And I have experience and a background and connections that I'm able to solve these problems. I did so much evil. I dealt so much death. And if I didn't try to do good now, like I think I would really have a problem. But I'm good because I'm doing good. There's something about that, doing good for other people. Like when you're hurting, I don't think there's anything more important that you could do than do something for somebody else. And that, man, that just empowers you and it gives you purpose. And if I'm ever going to think about, should I get up and work out today? Well, I can think about August 24th, 2021, when I had 2 kids in my arms and a woman behind me, and we're having to run through Kabul to try to make it to Ichkaya while we're being chased by the Taliban. Cool. I want to be in good shape, bro. You know?
Yeah.
Find people doing good. You know, as Mr. Rogers said, look to the people that are helping. And man, I'm good.
Just keep your eyes on the good.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you're able to manage your mind through all this, because I know a lot of lesser men would be destroyed by one of these experiences. And for you to have 4 of them concurrent over 3 years.
That is a lot.
It's a lot to handle.
I would really like maybe in the next election cycle us to look at the past 3 years and maybe I'm not ready for another 4 years of this, you know. I don't think our organization could take it. I think the Rolodex of people that want to do good I can only ask somebody to go into a war-torn country to try to save Americans so many times.
Well,
man, Tim Kennedy, what a man. Oh man, I love that type of stuff, you know, because it's true. You do have to do good in the world in order to feel good. It gives you purpose. When you have purpose, you can move through life like your steps are guided. It really does give you that when you're trying to do good. When you have that in your wife or husband or kids, and if you have none of that, career, calling, mission, whatever it is. But yeah, when you just try and do good. I remember one time I saw this lady, and this is a real story. I saw this lady, older lady, and she's like carrying this dresser down the street. She probably saw it in the garbage and she wanted to take it to her house. And I got so pumped because I decided I was going to help her. I went, oh man, this is it. I'm going to pick this thing. I picked this thing up over my head. We're good. I can run with this thing. And I walk up to her and I grab it and I say, where are we going? And she goes, oh, wow, we're going up the street. And I'm like, what's your name? Her name was Lynn. I told her my name and we just walked and I felt so good. I felt so good. It was like intense. It was nuts. And I brought it into her house, helped her out, and that was it. Boom. I felt incredible for days afterwards. I didn't feel better than her. I just felt really good. I was able to help somebody. Like my wife's going to come through the door in a few minutes. And when she does, I'm going to be there and I'm going to grab all of her stuff and I'm going to hug her. And she's going to be like, wow, you know, it just feels good to do good things. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I was questioning Tim and the things that he was saying in terms of a certain video I just did, you know, just questioning his motives in kind of scaring a lot of people. Because you got to understand, a lot of people choose to go with fear-mongering. And when you see people speak in unison towards fear-mongering, you have to question that group of people. And if you see that they're all on the same side of things, which would be government, military, celebrity, when you see all of them together, looking at you and telling you to feel a certain way, you have to question that. Do not ever, ever let that go unquestioned. Don't just take in the feelings that they're trying to present to you. And when I saw Tim pretty much telling us about everything to be scared of and providing no solution and not even kind of even guiding towards, hey, there is a solution. We're gonna, not telling us what he's gonna do because that would tell the enemy, but at least say like, we're gonna handle it. Something. None of that makes me question him. When I hear Rogan, you know, I did a video. When I hear Rogan allow someone to say something and then all of a sudden Eddie Bravo says it and he's not allowed to say it, I question. I say, what's going on here? What's happening? Okay? When my mom told me during a certain time a few years ago to go and get something that I didn't really want to get, if you know what I mean, wink, wink, jab, jab, I was like, whoa, hold on, Miss Anti-Government. What's going on here? What are you talking about? Why are you telling me to do this? You got to question the people, even the people you love. You have to. You have to do it. But this right here is what I love about Tim Kennedy. He's an incredible man at heart. He's gone through so much. I've read all his books and I've listened to them on audio, and I've listened to the podcasts that he's done. I've listened to at least 30 hours of him speaking. And this is the stuff that makes me just go, man, this guy, so great. You know, good example for all men to strive towards, you know. Kind of heard that he has some little questionable things on the Second Amendment, but not going to hold that against him yet till I learn more about it. But man, just great. Let me know in the comments what you think of Tim Kennedy. Let me know what you think about what he just said. When have you looked to the givers? And if you haven't, look to the people who are doing good. If you haven't done that, are you going to try and do that? Have you done that? Are you that person? You know, and if you're not, you don't have to comment, but at least think about it. Think about being that person, or at least looking to those people and finding inspiration there and moving forward in your own life. I'm telling you, I know things feel bleak, especially now. They feel so bleak. They feel so, you know, everybody's saying it. Oh, brink of World War III, brink of World War III. I'm telling you, I understand 100% why you would feel paralyzed, scared, disillusioned, demoralized. But trust me, things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. There's all sorts of people from different countries. I'll even include you. The main group that I have in my viewership are American. It is going to be the greatest country in the world again. It is going to be known as that. It already is right now, but it's going to be known as that. You know? Someone is going to take office, you know who, and it is going to be known as the greatest nation in existence. It is going to reclaim that. What people think is going to happen is not going to happen. It is going to triumph. And the world is going to get better. For those of you that aren't in America, the world is going to get better. Your situations are going to get better. It just doesn't feel like that at times, but I'm sure you can think back to when things didn't feel like they were going to get better, and they did. Use that as an anchor point and know that that time is going to come again. Nothing stays bad forever. Other than that, guys, I'm out. Subscribe.